Gang surrounds elderly black woman, then her Navy SEAL son appears, and they instantly regret it. Her scream sliced through the alley, a raw cry that stopped hearts. They thought she was alone, defenseless and easy target for their cruelty. In the fading light of a Chicago evening, 70-year-old Marion Carter clutched her worn purse, her steps quickening as the taunts grew louder. "Go back to where you came from, old lady," one of the gang members sneered, his voice dripping with venom. The group of 5, barely out of their teens, circled her like vultures, their laughter echoing off the graffiti-stained walls. They saw her gray hair, her trembling hands, and assumed weakness. They saw her dark skin and felt emboldened. This alley, their territory, was no place for someone like Hearer, so they thought. Marion's heart pounded, but her eyes burned with a fire forged by decades of surviving hate. She'd faced worse Jim Crow signs, whispered slurs, doors slammed in her face. But now, trapped in this narrow strip of concrete, fear gnawed at her. She backed against a rusted dumpster, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "You don't scare me," she said, her words a challenge. The leader, a wiry kid with a scar across his cheek, laughed, stepping closer, his breath hot with menace. "You're gonna regret walking here, Grandma." The air grew thick with tension, the kind that chokes hope. The gang tightened their circle, their boots scuffing the pavement, their eyes glinting with malice. Marion's mind raced to her son, Marcus, the boy she'd raised through struggle, the man who'd become a Navy SEAL. He was her pride, her shield, but he was miles away, wasn't he? She whispered a prayer, her lips barely moving, as the leader raised a fist, his smirk promising pain. Then a shadow moved. A figure stepped into the alley's mouth, silent as death. Marcus Carter, 6 feet 3 inches of coiled strength, stood framed by the dying sunlight. His Navy SEAL training had carved him into a weapon calm, precise, unstoppable. His eyes locked on the gang, and the air shifted like the moment before a storm breaks. "Step away from my mother," he said, his voice low, a warning carved in steel. The gang froze, their bravado flickering. The leader scoffed, trying to save face. "You think you're tough, huh?" He gestured to his crew, who brandished makeshift weapons, a pipe, a chain. But Marcus didn't flinch. He'd faced insurgents in deserts, storms at sea. This was personal. "You don't know who you're messing with," Marcus said, stepping forward. His presence filled the alley, a force of nature. The gang hesitated, sensing the shift. Marion's eyes met her son's, and in that moment, her fear melted into pride. She stood taller, her voice ringing out. "You boys picked the wrong fight." The leader lunged, swinging his pipe. Marcus moved like lightning, catching the weapon midair, twisting it from the kid's grip. In seconds, the pipe clattered to the ground, and the leader was on his knees, arm locked behind him. The others charged, but Marcus was a blur disarming one, dodging another, his movements surgical. A chain hit the pavement, a knife skittered away. The gang's confidence crumbled as they realized they weren't facing a man-thief, were facing a protector. One by one, they fell back, their bravado replaced by fear. Marcus didn't need to raise his voice. His action spoke. "You think you can hurt her because of who she is?" he said, his words cutting deeper than any blade. "You're wrong." The leader, panting, scrambled to his feet, muttering apologies as his crew retreated into the shadows. Marion stepped forward, her hand on Marcus's arm. "Let them go," she said softly. "They've learned." Her voice carried the weight of forgiveness, but also a warning. Marcus nodded, releasing the leader, who stumbled away with his crew, their heads bowed, their pride shattered. As the alley grew quiet, Marion hugged her son, tears in her eyes. "I knew you'd come," she whispered. Marcus smiled, his toughness softening. "Always, Mama." They walked out together, her arm looped through his, a symbol of resilience unbroken. The gang's hatred had been fueled by ignorance, a poison that thrives in division. But Marion and Marcus stood as a testament to strength not just of body, but of heart. They'd faced the ugliness of prejudice and walked away taller, not because they fought, but because they refused to be diminished. In that alley, they didn't just want to fight, they reclaimed dignity, proving that love and courage can silence hate. The city hummed around them, unaware of the battle won. But for Marion and Marcus, it was a moment that would echo a reminder that no one stands alone when family and justice hold the line. Thank you for listening. If you find it interesting, please like and subscribe to follow the next stories.